I never thought I'd see the day when the person I promised forever to would sit across from me in a courtroom and laugh while we finalized our divorce. But there I was in a small, stuffy courtroom, the kind that smells faintly of old wood and regret, listening to my wife chuckle like this whole thing was a joke. The whole morning had been a blur. I sat quietly, trying to focus on the papers in front of me, trying to remind myself that this wasn't about her. It was about me finally reclaiming my life. But every time I glanced up, she would flash that grin, the one that used to melt my heart, and now it felt like ice. She laughed at the way the lawyer explained the division of assets. She laughed when the judge asked if we had any joint accounts. And she laughed when I tried to speak about the months of emotional turmoil I'd endured. It was humiliating, heart-wrenching, and utterly surreal. I remember thinking, how can someone be so cold? How could the person I trusted with my life, my dreams, my very soul, treat the ending of our marriage like some kind of performance? I wanted to scream, to beg her to take this seriously, but the words got caught in my throat. The tension in the room was palpable, and I could feel my chest tightening with each passing moment. The judge was patient at first, asking the usual questions. Are there any disputes over property? Any disagreements over custody? Everything seemed straightforward, until he leaned back slightly, peering over his glasses, and asked a question that made the air in the room change. Has infidelity played any role in this divorce? The words hit me like a freight train. My stomach dropped, and I could feel my hands trembling. My wife froze for the first time that morning. The laugh that had been so confident faltered for a split second. I swallowed hard, my mind racing. I knew what was coming. This was the moment where the facade could no longer hide the truth. She opened her mouth, probably thinking she could laugh it off again, but the judge held up a hand. You may want to reconsider before you answer. I watched her face closely. Her eyes flicked to me, maybe hoping I'd remain silent, maybe hoping I'd back down. But I didn't. I took a deep breath, feeling years of betrayal, heartache, and sleepless nights coalesce into something steady and resolute. Yes, I said, my voice steady, though my heart was pounding. She cheated. Multiple times. The courtroom went silent. I could hear the faint scratching of pens and the soft shuffle of papers. My wife's mouth opened, then closed. She tried to cover it with a nervous laugh, but this time it didn't work. The judge's expression remained calm but sharp, like a hawk that had finally spotted its prey. I see, he said, jotting something down. That changes several aspects of our proceedings, including alimony and property division. I felt a surge of vindication, but it was complicated. It wasn't a satisfying victory. It was the bitter taste of justice finally being served after years of being lied to. My wife's laughter had vanished completely, replaced by a tight, forced smile. She glanced around, clearly hoping the world hadn't noticed, but the damage was done. The final minutes of the hearing were tense but brief. The judge went through the revised settlement, detailing what she would lose and what I would regain. I listened carefully, each word a small victory, a step toward reclaiming the life I thought was gone forever. My heart was still heavy, but there was a strange sense of relief in knowing the truth had come out, in knowing that the lies she had wrapped herself in could no longer protect her. As we left the courtroom, I felt the weight of years lift slightly from my shoulders. I didn't celebrate, I didn't laugh, but I didn't cry either. I just breathed. I realized something important that day. Betrayal doesn't define you. It doesn't diminish your worth. The person who chooses to hurt you may try to make you feel small, weak, or foolish, but in the end, It's your courage to face the truth that matters most. Driving home, I thought about how many nights I had spent questioning myself, replaying every memory, every conversation, every mistake. And for the first time in a long time I felt clarity. I understood that this wasn't just the end of a marriage. It was the beginning of reclaiming myself. I still feel a pang when I think of her laughter that day, but now it's mixed with a strange sense of empowerment. I learned that facing betrayal head-on, without hiding, without fear, is the only way to truly move forward. And maybe that's the cruel but necessary gift of heartbreak. It forces you to discover the strength you didn't know you had. So yes, my wife laughed while finalizing the divorce, but when the truth came out, when the judge revealed what really had happened, the laughter stopped. And in that silence, I found something I'd been searching for all along: my freedom, my dignity, and a quiet hope for what comes next.